I think we're ready. It's 3 minutes past. So good morning, good afternoon to everyone. Today I'm gonna have the pleasure to run this webinar, Atlassian Analytics. My name is Horacio Escalada. I'm Principal Technical Consultant from Valiantys. Just quick housekeeping. Feel free to ask questions anytime. Drop your question in the question and answer panel within the meeting. And in order to keep the flow of the webinar, I'm gonna go from beginning to end. And at the very end, we're gonna have a few minutes to answer any open questions. So let me talk about us, Valiantys. So we are a 100% dedicated Atlassian ecosystem consulting company. We got the Atlassian Partner of the Year recognition more than 13 times. I think this year we got it as well. 65 of the Global Fortune 500 work with us. We are the first Atlassian global partner, so we are everywhere in the world. And we have a 24/7 global coverage with over 600 members. How can we help you? We have different areas, consulting, licensing, integration and development, managed services, and training. I'm part of the training and consulting teams. So regarding to consulting and training, so we have different offers. You can visit our YouTube channel. You can participate of webinars and events like this one, or you can register for our training. So let's go through the agenda for today. So we're going to have a quick introduction. We're going to talk about data sources, data lake. We're going to look into dashboards, how you can create dashboards, what type of information you can put in there. We're going to add in charts. It's going to be pretty interactive. How to share permissions, how to export, and then at the end, we're going to have the QA time. So what is Atlassian Analytics? Analytics, it's a data visualization tool similar to Power BI or any other, sorry, any other of those tools. So basically what it's doing is pulling all the information from the Atlassian apps and create what is called a data lake, a data warehouse. And then you, through Atlassian Analytics, you can query using SQL, which is something you cannot do from the application itself. Who can benefit? Basically everyone who needs any kind of report. Teams, leads, executives, admins. So all the information in your applications, they're moving to the data lake and they're easy to query and combine. So we're going to start with the demo. So the first things I'm going to talk here is about data sources. So Atlassian Analytics can have different type of data sources. The Atlassian Data Lake we mentioned before, insights from Jira Line, or any Postgres connection. So if we change here, you will see the different options. Today, we're going to be focusing in a data lake data source, and we're going to be using the client demo. In order to add data sources, you need to have privileges. And when you click in this option, you have the different third party, or you can look up for the different applications in Jira and bring the information from Confluence, Jira software. So let's go back to So this is the client demo, and this is what I was referring. You have a general configuration. The default is 300. You cannot put more than 300 for the duration of the query. From the access options, you control the access, who have access to the system. You need to be aware that the permissions in Atlassian Analytics has nothing to do with the permissions in Jira. I'm saying this because imagine you have a project in Jira, a human resource project that it has limited access. If you bring that project as part of Jira, whoever has access to view, they will see the information unless you limit it from here. Connections, this is the data what I mentioned at the very beginning. When we created the data source, we can pick and choose what applications, and from those applications in the Jira Service Management, you can bring asset operations, Confluence, Jira, product discovery, and work management. In this section, you will be able to see the schemas. So when that data it's coming into the data lake, you can visualize this in here. This is useful for people who is well-versed in SQL. They can come here and see all the existing tables, all the relationships, and they can manually create those queries. The interface offers two options. One is the visual. You don't need to go through this. It presents everything to you and you build it through the interface, or you can jump into SQL. And we're going to see this in a second. The query log section is basically showing a report of all the queries they're running, the performance of the queries. You can select based on existing dashboard. If you're having an issue with one chart or one query that is taking too long to load, you can come here and review the information. Similar here, you can search specific queries that they are using specific tables, for example, work item. So I get the result of any SQL query that is reference to work items. In this case, still maintaining in the table name, still maintaining the all name issue. And this is a log for the change history. Okay, so now what we look into this information, we're gonna go and start exploring the dashboards. So I'm gonna start with the initiatives dashboard. As you can see, the interface, you can create different blocks. You can put different type of tables and charts. So we're gonna go one by one. We're gonna start with this option. In every of the charts, you have insights, give you a brief description about the contents of the chart. You have the option to add comments or show existing comments. This is to copy the link, and we're gonna see this in action, copying the link and pasting the link into Jira or Confluence allow you to share this type of chart or the dashboard itself into external pages. If we go to the three dots option, the ellipses, we have the edit chart option settings. We can copy, move, refresh the data. If it's needed, view the charts data is going to take us to SQL or download. We're going to go through these settings in a few minutes. So I'm going to select this And settings. Settings basically is allowing you to change any settings of the chart like any other chart tool, color, the series. The chart, it's taking you to the visual SQL. It's loading the queries. Give this a few seconds. It shouldn't take that long, but okay. So this is the query that the chart is using, and you can use the visual. If we click edit, you're gonna see at the top, visual or SQL. If you are familiar with SQL, you can work with the query in SQL. On the left side, you have all the existing tables. And when you select one table, you see all the fields. Similar visual, if we want to add additional columns, we select them from here. We have three main sections here, which is the query editor, the results in the chart, if you're using a chart or a table, and then the result table, which is the result of the query. And this query, then we get the result here. In the right side, you have a navigation for the different type of charts. You can play around with the chart if you want to try a different one. Sometimes if you don't have the right information, meaning fulfilling the columns of the chart, there's going to be a message telling you what other type of information you need to add in your query in order to render that specific chart. So I'm going to cancel any of my changes. In this area, we see table format. All these sections, they are called controls. You can add additional controls to filter by project, by types, by dates. Here's an option that you see the initiative drill down. We have a list of initiatives, but we don't have any information down here. So if we select one initiative, it's gonna take this value, adding it to the control, and in this page, it will display all the child issues connected to this specific initiative. There it is. And if we do the same in this epic, these lists are epics that belongs to the given initiative. If we do the same with an epic and the epic has child issues, we're gonna see the result here. It looks like this one doesn't have any issues. So let me go through one. We know it has issues. ES1, and then mob3. Here we have. Okay, so next, we went through the SQL, the visualizations, we view the chart data. Something else you can see is every time you mouse over, you will see the details of the content of the chart. if we're gonna search in a table, you can say, okay, I want to search for progress. It filtering for in progress. The search is based on text fields. Now we're gonna move to the second report. So here have a list of teams, and as you see, these other panels are empty. If I go, I select alpha team. Then this panel is gonna get populated. If I change to a different one, similar situation. Then from this one, I can also select the team, and then it's gonna show me issues assigned by individuals. If I wanna see specifically what Brian is assigned to, I can click here, and this panel is gonna be populated as well with all the 4 work items that they are assigned to Brian. And of course, all the links in here, they open to your application. In this specific case, in Jira, it's gonna open it in a different window with Jira. Okay, so now let's go and see how a dashboard can be created. So we have seen a couple of dashboards. All the dashboard can bring information from different applications. You can have a mix of information from Jira and Jira Service Management and Confluence in the same dashboard. To create a dashboard, you have 2 options. You can use the plus create button. It's gonna give you the option to create a chart or a dashboard, or directly use the create dashboard. When you click on create dashboard, you're gonna be presented with 2 options. Start with a blank or using a template. Recommendation is most of the time, try to use a template, look at the templates, see if the information you are looking for, it's already built. And sometimes you can reuse a template, you can copy the template and add your own specific modifications or controls to change some of the filters. We are gonna try to select one. I'll see you have all the templates created by Atlassian, and you can also create your templates. When you build a dashboard, you can save it as a template. So today we're gonna focus in Jira, and we're gonna use the Jira overview. Select this one, create. It's gonna take a few seconds. Okay. So as I mentioned before, these options here are called controls. We're gonna go through the menu and see all the different type of controls and how you can add it. We're gonna have another exercise from a blank template. So if you, let's say you make modifications and you adjust these to your specific project or your or you make some changes to the queries. Then from here, you can say, well, I want to save this as my own template. You define the name of the template. And then next time when you create a template, a dashboard from a template, you can select for the organization template. So on the right side, you have charts. So you can add any chart from here, or you can create your chart from scratch. And again, we're going to see this in the creation from an empty dashboard. Here are the controls. You can add drop-downs, date slider, calendar, text input. We're going to do an exercise with this one as well. Content, this gives you the option to add a panel similar to a Confluence page, and you also have access to some macros that you can use. You can add images. Adding images, it's very limited. You can add the image. You cannot do much with the image after. You can add or view comments. You can export. You have three options. You can export as PDF, CSV, or JSON. When you export into JSON, you can re-import it in a different instance or in the same instance. Here is similar menu as we saw before about who has access to the dashboard. Here the general settings. It's showing you all the controls that are available in this specific dashboard. Again, access. Subscription is people is subscribed to the dashboard. You can see and validate subscriptions there. And in the last one, you will see all the activity that happened in that dashboard. Okay, so let's go through the exercise and create a blank dashboard. And we're gonna go and start adding a chart. So this is why how you see the dashboard. When you start adding anything, it's gonna switch to edit mode. I'll select, let's say, project progress, configure the chart. In this case, I didn't name the dashboard, so keep it untitled. So let me cancel this. Name it as blank test dashboard. Now configuring, I can select any other one, but in this case, we are focusing on this one. The options presented here is automatically adding controls. You have a control for calendar, for the project's ID, and the project types. In this specific case, I'm gonna say, no, I don't wanna filter by date, because to be honest, I don't know the dates of the information in this project. I can add it later, so create the chart. Then it's gonna give me the option to place it somewhere in the board. I'm gonna start top left. I'm gonna say I wanna filter Jira. And then from Jira, let's keep the initiative project. Same as before. If you want to change the type, you can edit, sorry, not settings, edit chart. And you can try different ones. As you can see in the Visual SQL, these are the columns, these are the filters. You can add this, you can add additional conditions if you want. Let's say if we decide to add the dates, we can add the condition of filtering by the dates selected in the component, yes. So let's go back. So the next item is the controls, which are these type of controls. I'm gonna select, for example, the calendar. I'm gonna add the calendar. If in this case, this calendar is not connected, but if you're gonna see this control where it's connected to, you highlight connections and it's gonna highlight. In this case, we have only one charge, but in most of the dashboard, you're gonna have a lot of information. And if you need to change anything in the control, it's better to understand the impact you're gonna have within the dashboard. Let's do the content. We briefly see this, and this is similar interface as you have in a Confluence page. You can use the dash to call different type of macros. So let's say we can add this is a note panel. Image, as I mentioned before, there is limited what you can do with image, copy or delete. It doesn't give you the option to resize them. Oh, here it is. Comments one more time. You can add or review comments from here. You can export different options. And again, if you export to a JSON, it's something that you can re-import later. Pretty neat export. Share is the permissions. We went through this already. And then settings, we also look at this. We can see the controls we have in this page already, access subscription, and activity for this specific dashboard. And then if I want to save it as a template, my organization blank text dashboard. Then I can reuse this template if I click create dashboard and I said use template. Under my organization, I should see my new template, which is this one. Okay. So you can also create charts that they are not part of a specific dashboard. We went through the settings, we went through the controls, and just reviewing my notes to ensure I don't miss anything. We added the image export. Okay. So we are gonna go back to the initiative dashboard, and we're gonna try to embed this dashboard, the full dashboard, into a Confluence page. I'm gonna open my Confluence. Close this page. Go to Space Demo. Now I'm gonna be adding the dashboard into this page. I edit the page, and then from the dashboard, I select the copy link option, paste it in my page. And then from here, I need to change the properties and say, well, I want this to be embedded. So it's gonna display the full dashboard. If you wanna do this with just one control or one specific chart, let's say this one. Come to the page, and you do the same. You change the inline to embed, and you have just it. You can do the same in Jira. This is supported within Jira and the description field. So let's do a quick review. We went through the data sources. So we have different type of data sources. Adding a data source from the menu, you can connect to different databases, different third-party applications. Then when you have your data source, it's gonna take a while until the data lake is created, meaning bringing all the data into the data lake. You can manage access from here. Only specific people, anyone. Remember that if you have information that limited access in Jira, you need to come here and add that limitations in this configuration as well. We look at that two different type of dashboards and the ability of create dashboards from templates. You can filter the templates by applications. So one thing I forgot to mention is that Atlassian Analytics comes as part of the enterprise, and it's only, of course, available for enterprise cloud. Okay. I think that's all for today. I don't know if you guys have any questions. I don't see any posted, any open questions in the panel. We can open this to questions. It looks like we don't have any questions. Okay, so if we don't have any questions, I think we're done. Here's a link to our resources. If you want to connect, this is my email address, my LinkedIn. And that's all we have for this webinar today. Again, last chance for questions. Okay, I'll thank everyone for joining. It was a pleasure. I hope to see you again. Bye now.